Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE Farm. Minnesota and Purdue. Our Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineups for the Golden Gophers. Nate Mason today making his 50th career start. The Gophers need more minutes and production out of Reggie Lynch today. Purdue freshman. Carson Edwards, tremendous as a starter. You look at Richard Pitino, 18 and 42, his career Big Ten record, but don't need that balance here today, Bob. Matt Painter, career win 250 here with Purdue. Last time out, the Boilermakers beat Iowa 89-67 on Wednesday.
The big thing about their win to me against Iowa was the two leading scorers on the team had 4 points in the first half, Haas and Swanigan, and they were up 24 at halftime. The other thing that stood out about that game is the defense of Matthias on Peter Jott. Held him to 13.
Mason active hands inside, and that forces a Purdue turnover. The 184th all-time meeting between these two programs. This is Murphy shooting over Swanigan, and it goes. Murphy coming off a very solid game.
21 rebounds by Murphy against Michigan State. Now, that's not 21 rebounds against a weak team. That's against Michigan State. That was unbelievable. He had 12 points also in that game.
First Big Ten player with that kind of performance off the glass is DJ White with Indiana back in 2007-2008. There's Swanigan driving against Lynch, who doesn't foul. And Murphy there to collect. The Lynch avoid foul trouble today, Bob, is a huge storyline.
No doubt about it. Lynch did not play well against, had 5 fouls in 11 minutes against Michigan State. When they were going to Ward, he really had trouble defending him.
Now it's Thompson against Mason. Draws the double team in the corner, 5 to shoot. This is Lynch in between Haas and Swanigan.
Good start for the visitors.
This is only the second true road game for Minnesota all year. Their other road game was a loss in the Big Ten ACC Challenge against a very good Florida State team. The freshman Edwards short of that three-point try, but there's Swanigan with the left hand.
Purdue plays great in this building. Almost beat number 1 Villanova here. Had Haas not getting into foul trouble in that game, things might have been a little bit different. But right now, Minnesota is very, very confident. We asked Pitino before the game how his team felt after that crushing defeat against Michigan State, where they thought they had it won. And he emphasized to them that they had a 12-2 record. They should be confident on the road, and they have been so far.
That's too strong. Murphy another rebound. As a former coach yourself, what would you look for to see if that loss was still impacting your players the next day or two?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think you don't even wait to see. You tell them how to be, and he did that. And they feel confident, and they're showing it right here.
What a start for Minnesota as Mason knocks it down.
4 for 4 from the field.
Mason coming off a subpar shooting game, finished with 18 points, but just 5 of 14 in that loss to Michigan State.
How about the triple team on Haas? We talked to Coach Pitino at practice this morning, and he said that they were going to double team both Haas and Swanigan in the paint. So far, it's been good.
Get back to Murphy. That for 3, and the Gophers can't miss. They're 5 of 5, leading to an early Purdue timeout.
2 pick and pops by Murphy. One a 2 and the other a 3. The 4-man is Swanigan, who's the All-American. But Murphy right here is showing that he can play also. The 2 on the pick and pop and the 3 on the pick and pop. Nothing but bottom.
Now, Jordan Murphy doesn't shoot too many threes. Before that, 1 of 11 on the year, but knocks down that one. Let's take a look at our entire rack expert analysis, Bob, for the Gophers today.
Well, they got to use the full toolbox, which means the guys who did not play last year who are playing now, and they've got to maintain their poise on the road. Obviously, this good start is not going to continue throughout the entire game. When things get tight, Mason is going to have to make good decisions with the ball.
How about Purdue today, Bob?
Well, Purdue, the inside-outside scoring balance is something that is a very positive trait for them. And their team chemistry on D, which has not been there so far in this game. That's usually a strength.
P.J. Thompson, the junior guard. Here's Haas spinning on Lynch. Mason knocked it free. Haas got it back. And then a foul.
We are going to have to study where the double teams are coming from. That time, the double team on Haas came from Nate Mason, the point guard. Lynch's job will be to stay behind Haas, try to force him farther away from the basket. They don't want to give up lob passes on the interior.
Foul is on Lynch, his first, and Isaac Haas, as Richard Pitino looks on, his team off to a tremendous start. Haas, as a freshman 2 years ago, free throw shooting was in the 50s, a 55% free throw shooter last year, over 70%, more the same this year.
Vastly improved, unbelievable. He had a great game against the best team in the nation, Villanova. He had a great game, a great second half against Iowa. They couldn't stop him.
Mason bumped, and they're going to get P.J. Thompson for the foul. Just the first on Thompson, first team foul, just to finish up that point on Haas over his last 3 games. He's averaging 16 points and 7 rebounds, but shooting over 70% from the field in that span as Lynch comes out. And Bakari Konate's out for the first time today.
2 small guards in the games. Carson Edwards defending Dupree McBrayer right there. And McBrayer shoots right over him. He's got 4 inches on him. And, of course, P.J. Thompson. So far, Carson Edwards has been absent from touching the ball offensively. He scored the first 8 points against Iowa in their last game.
McBrayer, double figures in 6 straight games, and now Murphy will be whistled for the foul as he reached on Haas.
Haas is being double and triple teamed on every touch. Early in the game, Purdue is trying to establish the interior with Haas and Swanigan inside. Pitino is counteracting with the double and triple team in the post, and so far we haven't seen the pass out for the open 3, which is really what you would want.
Murphy's going to come out. Freshman Eric Curry's out for the first time. Matthias no. Thompson the rebound. It looked like he lost it off his foot. He did.
I think Thompson got a little hurried when he got the ball in the lane. That is a rare turnover. In 2 seasons, P.J. Thompson has averaged 1 turnover in 35 minutes of play. That's not in the last 3 games. That's in the last 2 years.
That's his 11th all year.
He takes care of the ball, man.
Breyer over Haas, and the Gophers still haven't missed. 7 of 7 from the field, and the lead is back to 9.
Shocking. We had shocking earlier today when Nebraska won its 2nd game on the road against Maryland. This is even more shocking start.
And Nebraska finished that game on a 14-0 run to win. Fade away from Edwards. That rattles out, and Konate the rebound. There's Mason up the floor in the paint. That rolls around and through. The lead is up to 13 as Nate Mason, the Gophers, have silenced Mackey Arena early today.
There are 14,804 people in these seats, and they are not loud at all right now. They're in shock.
Good passing. Matthias, though, inside, dumps it down for Haas, and a foul will be called on Minnesota, leading us to a timeout.
Corey, you said they're 8 for 8. They are confident. Around the rim, and it goes down. Mason, a runner. Double team inside is key. Right here, you see Lynch, and you see the save right here by Murphy. Lynch again. Murphy doubles. They throw it away. Minnesota defense has been great. 1 for 6 for Purdue so far, and 3 turnovers. And, of course, the offense has been spectacular. 8 for 8 for the Golden Gophers here.
See Jordan Murphy on the bench right now, 7 points. Purdue has hit 1 of 6. Vince Edwards on the floor for the first time today. He's been terrific off the bench. And that is happening for the 8th straight game. Here's Edwards up top. And now Swanigan, great fake. And Curry will be whistled for his 2nd foul.
Well, Curry is a backup 6'9" player, freshman guy, playing his first Big Ten game on the road. Getting a little coaching right here. He averages 6 and 6, which is very good as a backup center. Edwards in the game is key. He has sacrificed for this team, coming in off the bench instead of starting, and he has produced.
Sharpshooter Ryan Klein also, and this is Matthias from the corner. And a guy who could not miss here against Iowa a couple nights ago. He and his teammates struggling. Dangerous pass. Fortunate bounce. This is Springs from the corner. The first Minnesota miss tonight. And how about the sarcastic round of applause? Swanigan up the floor. Biggie can move.
You gotta love Big Ten basketball fans. And a turnover on the inbound as well. Swanigan hasn't had a lot of touches, and the fans right here appreciate his run out on that one.
I like the fact, even going back to the Springs miss a moment ago, these fans know, they were aware that, boy, Minnesota hasn't missed yet.
2 shooters in the game, Klein and Matthias at the same time, and that guy.
Springs the rebound.
With this lineup right now, Swanigan's the 5. Vincent Edwards is the 4, so he'll be playing against Murphy. Murphy has been open on the pick and pop so far with Swanigan guarding him.
There's the slick freshman Amir Coffey with the left hand, too strong. Lynch the offensive rebound. It goes off the glass.
Boy, what a difference he makes to this team, huh? I know you live in Minnesota and you've seen them a lot, and I saw them a lot last year. He is a big-time player. Check this out, huh?
What he just did right there is what they had not had in the past, a shot blocker.
Number 43 on the season right there.
Springs too strong, and Swanigan with one hand rips down the rebound. Here's Matthias.
Give it back.
Klein, the sharpshooter. He knocks down the 3.
Off the bench. You need shooting. Ryan Klein provides it.
Stuck in a small shooting slump the last 4 games. Klein, 5 of his last 18, but knocks that one down. Mason, that doesn't go, and Edwards lost it. Last touch by Murphy. It'll be Purdue ball.
Reggie Lynch, they didn't have him last year. They got him now. How about this rebound in traffic? That at one end, and this at the other end. Block number 43. Notice how he blocked with his left hand, which is closer to the ball of a right-handed shooter. That is an educated shot blocker. Transfer from Illinois State. Was a great shot blocker there as well.
Edwards, beautiful spin off the glass, and it rolls in. Smooth.
Smooth. That thing almost went over the top of the backboard. I love that guy's energy, don't you? He provides a lot for this team. He's all over it right here.
And he pokes it free from Lynch. It's loose. Lynch dives on top of it, and Edwards then rips it away.
Give me that ball.
Eight-point game. Matthias to Swanigan down low.
The Boilermakers are awake. They slept through the first 4 minutes of this game, but now they are back. Check out Purdue. 2 screens. The spin, acrobatic by the freshman, Carson Edwards. And then inside, the All-American doing damage.
Why Purdue is playing so well as we examine today's Auto Owners Insurance Game leaders. Balance.
Balance on offense is key. Not only balance among players, which you can see here, but balance between inside and outside scoring. The Iowa game was very instructive in that regard. Swanigan and Haas only had 4 points between them to start the game in the first half. They had 23 of the 40 in the second half. So this is a team that's very experienced. Carson Edwards, the freshman, gives them a lot of energy.
Nice play out of the timeout for Minnesota's Lynch. Is able to get it up and in. Lynch with 6 points.
Yeah, he's 3 for 3. I think Lynch has been motivated by his matchup against Swanigan and Haas.
This is Matthias just outside the free throw line. It was Matthias who had the hot hand.
Yes, indeed.
Here against Iowa.
No doubt about it. He's not only a three-point shooter. Klein is that way. 90% of Klein's attempts are from 3. Matthias, not so much. He's got the pull-up as well.
When we spoke with Matt Painter before the game and Matthias' name came up, also his defense, part of the conversation. Springs the miss, and then Lynch lost it off his foot. It'll be Purdue ball as we go back to the Matthias bucket a moment ago.
Dakota Matthias, a screen by Edwards. He makes a 2 on the pull-up, nothing but bottom. His reputation is as a three-point shooter. Check it out. He's over 50% from three-point range. He's 49% from inside. Spike Albrecht back. This is his first game in a long time. Had that back injury. I talked to Matt Painter a little bit before the game. He told us that Spike was going to play in this game. If I'm him, I'm concerned about disrupting the chemistry of my team by adding him to the rotation, actually. But he knows his team. I think he felt like PJ playing 30 minutes is a bit too much.
This is Lynch against Haas. Albrecht had missed the last 7 games. This is the freshman Michael Hurt along the baseline. Now McBrayer. Extra pass, Murphy for 3. And Edwards the rebound. Good defensive sequence that time for Purdue.
Yeah, that's their standard right there, Corey. They are a team that doesn't create a ton of turnovers, but they make you miss.
And this is Lynch. This is going to be number 2 as he was battling with Haas inside. And so Reggie Lynch is going to be whistled for his second. So Lynch with 2. Eric Curry already on the bench with 2, and now 5 team fouls. And Lynch will check out, and Bakari Konate is back in.
Konate was the starting center last year. Lynch has taken his place. Far superior player in terms of shot blocking. But Bakari is a very aggressive player. You see him on the switch here. I think he can do a pretty reasonable job against Haas. Pushes him off the paint here.
Pass inside is knocked away. It was Springs who got his hand in the lane.
When you double team a post player, lanes to the basket can be open. And your third player involved has to get in that lane, and Minnesota did a good job of it there.
5th turnover on Purdue, averaging 14 per game. At the halfway point, Minnesota with the ball in a 6-point game. Springs up top, way off, and Haas the rebound.
Whoa.
And now, fortunate Purdue to get the ball back.
Haas has made 2 errors on passes on 2 consecutive possessions. When he was doubled, he made a bad pass out of the double team. And right here, he throws an outlet pass to Klein, who's not even looking. Klein is not the guy that gets the outlet pass.
Mathias feeds Haas. And a traveling violation.
So 3 mental errors in a row by Isaac right here, and that's got Matt Painter pulling his hair out a little bit.
And Matt Painter picked up a career win at Purdue, 250 last time out. Basil Smotherman took a red shirt last year, averaging 5 points per game. Will check in.
Gives him a little bit of muscle at the 4 spot. So Swanigan out of the game right now. Where will Purdue go for their scoring? They're an inside-out team, but Haas has made some mental errors here in the last couple of minutes.
There's the sophomore Murphy. The baby hook doesn't go. The rebound knocked out by Minnesota. Purdue ball.
You got 2 shooters in the game for Purdue. You've got Klein in and Mathias in. And right now, Mathias takes to the bench, and Carson Edwards comes in. So that gives you a guy who's going to drive the ball to the basket.
There's Ryan Klein. And a 3 already today since that great start from the field. Minnesota hit 8 of 8. Just 2 of its last 10.
Indeed. The D has stiffened.
Here's Carson Edwards slashing. Finger roll doesn't go. Murphy the rebound.
I like the shot, though, and I like the mental approach. They got to drive the ball in there instead of just passing in.
Edwards averaging 11 per game. Murphy is fouled. Murphy coming off that fantastic game despite the loss. 12 points, 21 rebounds against Michigan State. Smotherman the foul, his first. It's the second team foul, but 2 free throws upcoming here for Jordan Murphy. And you go back to the Michigan State game. The free throw line was huge in that loss for Minnesota. Went to the free throw line 45 times and missed 14 free throw attempts as Murphy knocks the first one down here. Big Ten fans, BTN To Go is fully customizable for your team. Check out all the new features of the app Watch live games and daily video from BTN, as well as fresh real-time social content about your school stories from BTN.com and much, much more. Update yours or download the app today, available at the App Store or Google Play.
Swanigan back in. Swanigan in for Haas. They should go there.
It's Smotherman, the fadeaway.
Not bad.
Did not score against Iowa. No points in 9 minutes.
Nate Mason out right now. Dupree McBrayer takes over as the point guard. He's really a 2. Let's see if they can execute. Coffey's been absent from the offense in this game so far. He with the ball.
There's the dump inside. Kanate had position, but the miss. He got inside of Swanigan.
Backed him under the hoop.
Here's Albrecht, graduate senior transfer, the feed to Swanigan.
Nice hands. That could easily have been a turnover. When you drive the lane, if you're too close to the man you're passing to, often it's a turnover. Swanigan made that into a 2.
This is Springs, also a graduate transfer. Undergrad at Milwaukee.
5th-year guy. Brings experience, but has not played in the big time.
And a turnover will give the ball back to Purdue.
Swanigan back in the game. First touch, prevents a turnover, and scores.
Early in conference play. Bob, what about some of your most improved teams overall?
Read from the bottom up. Minnesota 8-23 last year, 12-2. Rutgers 7-25, 11-4. And of course the Illini ahead of their rate from last year. These teams are very much improved over last year. Of course, Steve Peichel, a new coach at Rutgers. He's doing a terrific job getting his team ready to play, and they are competitive.
Illinois and Ohio State follows us. Game 4 of our binge on BTN, presented by U.S. Cellular. Swanigan for 3. That doesn't go. Long rebound. Albrecht.
That's his game, right? Mr. Hustle.
Swanigan 8 points so far. Backing Kanate down. Squares him up with the shoulder. And it out.
He got a good shot. There was no double team for the first time all game.
Mason back on the floor. Tough 2, but it goes for Mason.
He's a good player. He's the most experienced guy on this team as a junior. He can score off the dribble.
Mason today, his 50th career start, a turnover. This is the freshman Amir Coffey against Matthias, and it'll go. There's a whistle, and it'll count the basket.
Minnesota's defense has been tremendous in the lane. Take a look at this right here. This is the result of good D at one end. Coffey, the acrobatic play, and makes the finish right here. 6'8" freshman, one of the best in the league this year. They are clogging the paint. Drives to the paint or passes to the paint are big time contested.
Guy is short, and Mason the rebound.
Look at his head up, huh? Vision on this kid is tremendous.
Rolling around and out. Mason fouled.
Foul number 31, Dakota Matthias.
Nate Mason came down the floor, surveying the situation as he approached. Kept his head up, hand on the ball, and when all of the people were defended, took it himself. Good judgment.
Mason 76% at the free throw line, shooting 2 here. Look at the roster by class. A young team.
Yeah, young team. Good balance among the classes right now. The guys who are doing the most damage are freshmen and sophomores. This man, Mason, is a junior, but the rest of the guys, they're all going to be back.
Mason misses 2.
Highly unusual.
Throughout the non-conference portion of this season, Minnesota as a whole much better at the free throw line. Did not shoot well though with the line in their last non-conference game, and then struggled against Michigan State. Off the turnover, 2-on-1. McBrayer throws it down to the left hand.
Give Mason some credit too, Corey. He came from behind and poked it out of Swanigan's hands.
Now Konate fouling Swanigan.
Take a look at the D. How about this? The BTN standout play. Dupree McGrayer, the punch out by Mason. And he delivers it right on time. That's the BTN standout play. You know, Swanigan got caught looking at the other end of the floor when he's at the free throw line, catching the ball. He doesn't know what's behind him. And Mason made a terrific play. Look at the clog in the lane here.
There's Vince Edwards. Acrobatic shot, no, and there's contact and a foul. Fouls on Konate. That's his second. So, most players for Minnesota foul trouble. Konate 2, Lynch 2, Curry 2. Hotel 6, sixth man of the game. We focus on Vincent Edwards, who once again came off the bench again today, Bob.
Last year, he started all the time, averaged 11. This year, he started 7, came off the bench for 7, and averages 12. He has made the sacrifice to come in off the bench for the good of the team, and it is working so far. Carson Edwards, the man defending the ball, has taken over that starting spot.
Now, too, about Vincent Edwards. You go back to the last few games he started before he changed his role. He was turnover prone early in the games. The first 2 or 3 minutes, maybe the first touch he would get, he'd turn it over.
And, you know, he's such a versatile player. He leads the team in assists as a 6'8" forward. You know, and you got 2 small guards on your team. Typically, those guys are going to lead in assists, but he's the best passer on the team.
Mathias fouled Swanigan. Murphy nearly stole him, but Swanigan stuck with him, and the lead is 6.
That's strength, my friend. Swanigan made a mistake. He should have gone up on the right side, switched to go up on the left side, and there was traffic there, but he was strong enough to adjust.
Swanigan with 12. Murphy, no. Tap, no, and there's Swanigan with the rebound.
I like Vincent Edwards handling the ball. His vision is good. Hit it.
Mathias to kick out. Edwards for 3.
Hit it! Hit it, Vince! No emotion. Stoic. He leaves the emotion to the crowd.
Just the second made 3 today for Purdue, and it's a 1-possession game.
Poise required.
Mason trying to answer and does.
How about that? How about that? When you were on the road in the Big Ten and all these big arenas with them filled, you have to have poise on the road. Not only at the end, but at a juncture just like that.
Mason now with 9. Mathias off the curl. Edwards same spot. Not the same result, but there's Swanigan got inside of Konate.
Let's see if there's another answer for Minnesota right here.
Swanigan is half of Purdue's points.
Wow.
Mason nearly had it stripped. Somehow found McGrayer.
Shot clock.
Coffey with 7. Navigates to Mason with 5. Mason bumped, and he will shoot 2 when we come back. A timeout in West Lafayette.
The shot is a miss. The second time. The first one he makes. The answer for Mason at this end, great basketball. Got 12 on the day so far. The All-American producing. When they find him close to the basket, you can forget about it. Strength in the hands, strength in the body, positioning on the offensive glass. He's doing it. These are my Player of the Year candidates in the league. Swanigan, of course, Nigel Hayes, who was preseason Player of the Year, Blackman, and Melo Trimble.
Well, you see the names right there. And yesterday on Twitter, Big Ten Network, the Twitter handle, asked you, the fans, who would be the Big Ten Player of the Year at this point. And we can see it right there on the screen. And Caleb Swanigan is right now leading the way, 61%. Nigel Hayes, second, 17%. Melo Trimble, third at 14%. But I voted, and I voted for Caleb Swanigan. You?
Yeah. No, I don't vote. I'm neutral in these things. we may get some people from Iowa saying, how come Peter Jock is not on the list? The league's leading scorer, but Purdue held him to 13 in the last game.
Jock was good today as Iowa beat Michigan in overtime.
Purdue needs more balanced scoring. That's their signature, and they haven't had it in this game. The All-American is carrying them so far. On the other hand, very good balance on the part of Minnesota.
Edwards for three, the miss. Swanigan tap, no, and there's Konate.
They're going to use three centers in this game, Konate, Lynch, and Curry. And each of them are going to end up having 3 or 4 fouls, I guarantee you, because they are being aggressive on Haas and Swanigan. Haas has not played a good game. That's why he's on the bench right now.
Turnover prone.
Yep.
There's Murphy. Taking Edwards inside. Good move, but couldn't finish. And the rebound knocked out last touch by Purdue. It'll stay with the Gophers. As you look at Isaac Haas on the bench. Stay tuned for analysis, predictions, and more. The State Farm halftime report is coming up. Mike Hall, Mike DeCourcy, and Jess Settles. Game 3 of our binge on BTN, brought to you by U.S. Cellular.
Vincent Edwards is so important to this team, Corey. Haas is playing a bad game, so he goes in and guards Murphy. So he's a 3 and a 4 player. So Vincent Edwards is going to play a major role in this game.
Mason having a tremendous half, 13 points. The lead is back up to 8.
5 out of 6 for Nate.
Tries to kick out Edwards. He likes that spot.
When Edwards is shooting threes, no one else is on the offensive glass except Swanigan. Of course, you got 4 guards in the game, really.
Purdue just 2 of 10 so far from 3. Hit 12 threes in the win against Iowa. Coffee bumped. And Ryan Klein has his arms up, indicating, what did I do? But they're going to whistle. Klein, the sophomore from Indiana, with his first foul.
Purdue is a team that does not foul a lot. They are in the top 6 in the nation in not fouling. On the other hand, Minnesota, because they take it on the bounce and they attack the glass, they shoot a lot of free throws, 27 a game.
For the Boilermakers, number 44,
Amir Coffey. See what he can do for the Golden Gophers, Bob. And
he adds the scoring on the slashing. That's the main thing that he provides, Corey. But he's another option. You know, if Mason's not on or if Dupree McGrayer is not on, this guy can take over a game. He had 30 against St. John's as a freshman. That's the St. John's team that just beat Butler.
Coffey, normally a good free throw shooter, around 80%. This is 2. Haas back on the floor. McGrayer knocked it free. A turnover.
Triple teamed.
As Mason slips inside, too strong. Murphy cleans it up. His foul rattles out. Loose on the floor. A whistle as Swanigan hit the deck hard. And a foul is going to be called on Bakari Konate. That's his 3rd. With 1:23 to play.
You got to hand it to Minnesota. You talk about being aggressive. They are aggressive on the offensive glass. They are aggressive protecting the lane anytime the ball goes in there. And, of course, they're going to get in foul trouble. And I don't think Richard Pitino minds that at all. He's rotating 3 centers in a game. They're all going to pick up fouls.
You see Lynch right there in the middle of Springs and Konate. He's on the bench with 2 fouls.
It's working so far.
Eric Curry, though, back in the game, boxing out inside on that free throw attempt. Number 24, he is also playing with 2 fouls.
But this is not a bad thing. Swanigan at the line has been the man, of course, as he usually is. But Minnesota has a 6-point lead against the number 15 team in the nation with 1:23 to go in the first half. So the strategy has paid off. Isaac is having trouble handling the ball in this game. They are crowding him on the catch, not on the dribble.
Last 4 turnovers comes out at 8 minutes. Vincent Edwards back on the floor. Coffey to save near the Purdue bench. Here's Murphy against Swanigan. Challenged him, missed it, and Swanigan the rebound, and then Murphy.
Well, the fans at Mackey Arena think that Minnesota is fouling on every offensive rebound, and they're letting the officials have it here. But Richard Pitino has to be extremely pleased with the way his team is being aggressive. Let's take a look at it. The hard drive to the basket is defended well, but he clearly goes over the back of Swanigan.
19 foul in Minnesota, so still a 1-and-1. As Swanigan knocks down the first free throw attempt. Swanigan with 7 rebounds already.
Well, he's been the man in this game, as he is in most Purdue games. But the balance on offense for Purdue is not there. That's why they've only scored 32 points in the half so far.
McBrayer off the glass, no. Curry the rebound, knocked free. The Boilermakers haven't missed from the free throw line. Edwards to make this a 1-point game. Murphy pulls up near the elbow. And that temporarily silences this big crowd.
Well, the two M's have responded. Mason and Murphy have made big shots every time that Purdue has made a great play and gotten the crowd into it.
Thompson kicks it out. Mathias, good if it goes. And that'll do it for an exciting 20 minutes in West Lafayette. Nate Mason, a huge first half, 13 points. Jordan Murphy, 11. Caleb Swanigan, 16 and 7 for Purdue. 38-35 Minnesota at the break here on BTN. After the break, we'll send it to Mike Hall and the crew in Chicago to take care of the State Farm halftime report. Happy New Year from West Lafayette. Good game. A 3-point game at the break on BTN. Mason was great, 13.7 assists, and at the break, Minnesota leads at Purdue 38-35. Welcome back to Mackey Arena. Happy New Year alongside Bob Wenzel. I'm Corey Probus. Exciting game after 20 minutes, a 3-point game.
Yeah, and you know, Minnesota comes off a heartbreaking loss, and they responded beautifully. 8 for 8 they started, but the defense tightened up for Purdue, and that's why we have a close game like we have right now. Two superstars, Nate Mason doing it, 13 points, 7 assists, only 1 turnover. Swanigan, 16 points, 7 rebounds. Both of those two players are carrying their teams. Purdue's perimeter players are not producing offensively. Carson Edwards, P.J. Thompson, Dakota Mathias, 2 of 10 from the field for those 3 players on the perimeter. And Isaac Haas, starting right now the second half, has had difficulty handling the ball. He's got 4 turnovers.
Well, Minnesota began play today hitting its first 8 shots from the field. The second half begins with Murphy knocking down the 3.
Yeah, and you were talking to Coach Pitino, and he said that he was disappointed in the first 5 minutes of the second half against Michigan State, and that set the tone. So I'm sure he talked to his players about that at halftime.
Thompson can't hit. Purdue just 3 of 13. 3 so far today. Now Minnesota guards the 3 awfully well. Still, Purdue's had wide open looks. The lob to Lynch against Haas. Spins out. Rebound number 8 for Swanigan.
The key that Lynch is back in the game defensively is important for Minnesota.
Thompson gets it to go.
That's some guts right there, my friend. He just bricked the 3 and had an opportunity to shoot it again, and he did it right away.
First points tonight for the junior from Indy.
Both of these teams, Corey, are used to winning. They're both 12 and 2. Even though we have one ranked 15th in the nation and the other recovering from a poor season, these players don't think about that. They're just feeling good about themselves. And PJ launches this one from well behind the arc and knocks it in.
Isaac Haas whistled for his first foul. As Amir Coffey will throw it in.
Purdue only had 5 fouls in the first half total.
Crowd wanted to walk as Coffey bounces to Lynch with the right hand. That wasn't pretty, but Murphy's rebound was.
That guy can board.
Fadeaway, no. Lynch the rebound. Another chance here for Minnesota with the left hand.
How about that? You talk about Lynch and Murphy taking care of business on the offensive glass. If they can do that against Purdue, they can do that against anybody.
Well, foul trouble limited Lynch again in the first half as Haas with a turnaround. Haas with 4.
I've seen Isaac play well against stiff competition in second halves of games. Did it against Iowa, did it against Villanova.
Mason around Thompson, the floater off the mark. And it's Carson Edwards running down the rebound.
Carson needs to make an impact in the game.
He'll drive, tripped, and he walks. And Matt Painter can't believe it. You can read his lips saying he fouled him. And a traveling violation called.
Let's take a look at the trip. A lot of traffic in there. Feet get untwined. He's unhappy. He thought Murphy tripped him.
9th Purdue turnover. Murphy again. That one's short. Edwards the rebound.
Swanigan is not guarding Murphy at the three-point line.
Swanigan gets it deep and a whistle before the shot. And Jordan Murphy will be whistled for his 3rd.
Jordan Murphy fouled Swanigan twice on the same play. When that happens, you don't shoot 4 free throws. He got him early before he made his move, so it's just an inbound situation.
Murphy stays in with those 3 fouls. Although Eric Curry looks like he's going to pop off the bench and he'll check in. Edwards, what a lead for Haas!
Welcome to the game, Carson. Your team needs you.
Purdue has never led in this game. The lead back to 1. McBrayer, step back 3. Haas the rebound. Swanigan posting up Murphy. This for the lead. The freshman gives Purdue its first lead today.
That kid is a competitor. He was conspicuously absent in the first half. But Carson Edwards, his energy has filled the building. The big man. Nothing in the first half. Good start in the second half for Isaac. And the small guy on the floor, Carson Edwards, Mr. Energy. First half, I thought Purdue was really trying to just bang it inside. Perimeter guys didn't do anything on offense. So far, the perimeter guys are 2 for 3 from three-point range in the second half. They were 3 of 12 in the first half. You must have balance in your offense to win.
Well, Purdue making shots, too, offensively. 4 of 5 this half alone.
2 of 3 from downtown.
Swanigan draws Curry and Lynch.
Nice pass.
Edwards from the baseline, too strong. And Curry boxing out Swanigan inside. Here's Coffey.
Coffey's been absent in this game.
McBrayer hesitated, then let it go. And couldn't hit for 3. Edwards off the crossover. Here's Haas. Missed inside with the left hand, and it's knocked out of bounds. And it's going to be a foul on Caleb Swanigan. So Minnesota will have it when we come back. Purdue by 2 on BTN.
40 points between them in those 2 games, shooting over 50%.
Now, speaking of Indiana, they have dropped 2 straight, including a loss to Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinals yesterday in Indianapolis. Rick Pitino here to take in this one with his son coaching. Richard, year number 4 in the Twin Cities. Swanigan the foul before the timeout. Curry from the baseline. Swanigan the rebound, his 11th rebound.
That's a big-time rebound right there. I do like Curry. The freshman, number 24 from Minnesota, has a good future. This is a big game. He's only a freshman, 6'9". He's got to give him some minutes.
Thompson trying to add on, and does. Knocks down his second three this half.
3 for 12 in the first half from 3. 3 for 4 in the second half from 3. Balance besides Swanigan is necessary.
Here's Mason, tough two over Thompson, and a toss with a rebound. One and done again for Minnesota.
And one and done has not happened very often, has it? It's usually Minnesota all over the offensive glass.
Vincent Curry double team Swanigan. Skip it to the corner. This is the freshman Edwards, too strong, and Mason the rebound.
Swanigan did a great job of avoiding a turnover there. They are double teaming him on the catch.
High floater from Mason. Off the heel, and now Edwards the push. He stumbles, and how about that play? Tapped it back out to Swanigan. Goes behind the pack to Matthias. Creates, scores.
It wasn't pretty, but it sure was effective.
And Edwards deserves some credit. Matthias gets the two, Swanigan the pass, but Edwards kept that possession alive.
Edwards gets the credit for the blue-collar work. Swanigan gets the credit for the French pastry work.
Mason all the way. The seal inside created an open lane for Mason. It's the first Minnesota made field goal since the 1809 mark.
It's really quiet in here right now, unusual.
Edwards trying to reverse it, had it blocked. He wanted a whistle. And it's Mason. Subs coming for both teams at the next whistle. Mason open, look for three. He's been the guy today from the get-go for Minnesota. And Mason's three makes this a two-point game.
Well, Carson Edwards was upset when he drove the baseline and didn't get the call. And because of that, he was lazy on defense and lost Mason on an easy screen.
Mason now with 21. Thompson again. His third three this half.
He only averages 7 a game. He's got 9 on those threes. Had 0 at halftime.
Curry. And there's the freshman right on cue. Guy that doesn't shoot the three all that often. He knocks that one down, and Minnesota answers back.
Well, not that often. He was 1 for 7 until that moment on the year. So now he's 2 for 8. So that's not in the scouting report.
Matthias off the curl. Matthias lost it off his foot. And a turnover will give it back to Minnesota, Bob, and we come back to Mackey.
How about this for a play? Dive for that ball, Carson. How about the behind-the-back pass? And then this is the result. Matthias gets the layup. PJ from 3, knocking him in. We got a game.
We close out our marathon of hoops with our binge on BTN, the final matchup. Illinois and Ohio State. Coverage coming up right after us on BTN and BTN to go.
Jason Tate has been doing it for Ohio State. He is the best small 4-man in the Big Ten. Only 6'4", and gets after it on the glass.
It's the Buckeyes Big Ten opener. Illinois lost its conference opener. Lost badly at Maryland.
At Maryland, yeah. Nate Mason needs to be defended better because he is on fire. He is having a great, great game. He's got 18 points, 8 assists, and 1 turnover. That's him with the ball.
Shot clock at 10. This is Mason again. Adding to it, give him 20.
He's making his case for all league right now. Averaging 13 points a game. He's got 20 already. Hasn't turned the ball over but once. And he's playing solid D. Albrecht in the game right now because of his leadership. And Vincent Edwards back in the game. He had 8 in the first half. That's his first shot in the second half.
That three didn't go. Mason fouled and one.
How about this?
Mason hit the floor bomb and turned right to his bench. He's leading emotionally and with his play here today.
No doubt about it. That's his first one where there was no foul. This is his second one where he gets hit on the wrist by P.J. Thompson. Purdue might want to think about double-teaming him on all screens because hedging isn't working and the guys can't keep up with him by themselves.
Mason now 3 of 5 at the line. And Minnesota's answered back after Purdue had momentum, had the lead. A burst from the Gophers.
Every single time Mason has answered, first half and second half.
Collapse on Swanigan. This is Albrecht. This is the 3, and it's last touch by Murphy, who's back on the floor with 3 fouls.
Albrecht's missed a couple of shots. He hasn't played in a long time. Injury. I didn't think he was going to play a lot of minutes today, but Matt Painter told us both that he was going to get him in the game.
Carson Edwards sits with Albrecht and Thompson, Klein, Vincent Edwards, and Swanigan. Edwards got Murphy up along the baseline. It scores.
They need him. He's playing the 4 right now. He'll guard Murphy. That's a tough job keeping Murphy off of the glass for Vincent Edwards.
Edwards now with 10. Mason off the crossover. Swanigan another rebound.
Mason's wise to take shots. He can get a clean shot on every possession.
Swanigan 13 rebounds, and Springs knocked it out. Last touch by Minnesota as we go back.
Take a look at the drive by Vince Edwards. He jumps in the air sideways to avoid the charge. How about that? That is an educated player. That could easily have been a charge. He's got 10 points and 3 of 6.
Has he been motivated by coming off the bench?
I think so. I think he has. And I think Matt Painter appreciates it so much. He says an awful lot of positive things about this kid.
Ryan Klein, a rare 2, miss. Swanigan the rebound. Muscles up and scores. Can't defend that.
You are right about that. Muscle being the operative word there. Mason out of the game, getting a bit of a rest.
McBrayer, shot clock under 10. Murphy spins with the right hand. The sophomore answers.
That's a hard matchup for Vince Edwards. Murphy is a very powerful player. Probably has 30 pounds on Edwards.
Murphy now with 16. To go with 6 rebounds. As Klein throws it inside, and Murphy is going to be whistled for his 4th foul. So number 4 on Jordan Murphy. Here's his storyline here with 8:39 to play.
It's hard to guard Swanigan. Murphy gets his 4th because of these kinds of plays. He's in there, 3 guys around him, still powers the ball back up. 12 double-doubles on the year. That leads the nation. You can see why he's going to get All-American candidacy this season.
6th straight back-to-back Big Ten Player of the Week honors. He's won it 3 times already. Klein had it blocked from behind by Coffey, but he got it back. There's Carson Edwards along the baseline. That was stripped by Springs. Coffey for 3. The senior fed the freshman, and the lead is back up to 4.
Amir Coffey is a very good player, and he hasn't done a lot in this game, but that's big time for him. He's going to feel more confident in the last 8 minutes of the game.
Timeout, Purdue.
Edwards on the baseline gets blocked cleanly by Springs, and Springs delivers. Coffey, bottom, 61-57.
Strong signal where the other guys don't. Brought to you in part by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. And by Country Mart. Get more per gallon. 8:13 to play. Rick Pitino, head coach of the Louisville Cardinals, on hand here today watching his son Richard as the Golden Gophers lead 61-57.
His team beat Purdue by a few. Purdue has not been in a lot of close games. They've been blowing people out. The Villanova game was a 3-point loss. The Notre Dame game was a 5-point victory. And of course, Louisville.
During the 7-game winning streak for Purdue, Klein, tough three, doesn't go, but Edwards the rebound. Vincent to Carson, now back to Vincent. And during the 7-game winning streak, Purdue's winning by an average of 28-29 points. Challenging shot, still it goes for Edwards.
Wow. 9 on the degree of difficulty scale for that shot.
Now that Notre Dame game was a great game in Indy. Purdue was down double digits at halftime, double digits second half, and rallied to win by 5.
What's meaningful about that is winning close games is important. Minnesota was just in an overtime game that they lost. So we'll see how that mentally affects players right now.
First points for Akeem Springs, a guy that showed some flashes of scoring during the non-conference schedule.
Nate Mason has been out of the game for quite some time, and he was absolutely on fire. Good conversation going right here between Springs and Mason right there. I think he needs to get back in this game.
Things you like about Springs right there, Bob.
Yeah, the three-point shooting, as you mentioned. I think that's the big thing for him.
Foul on Lynch, his third. Lob inside for Haas. Playing catch with Edwards. He'll spot up. That doesn't go. Haas and Lynch. And it's Lynch. Springs kind of helped out there, too. Kind of clearing Haas a little bit.
I agree.
Coffey leaves it for Lynch. Two-man game underneath.
Coffey has made a three and a beautiful pass right there. Minnesota not intimidated. Haas wants it.
And he has it. With the left shoulder block from Curry. Edwards got it back. Fell out. And Curry the rebound and a whistle. And a foul on Purdue. Some good looks inside, but no points. Minnesota ball.
Reggie Lynch doing some work at the defensive end and getting rewarded at the offensive end. A little flush, easiest basket of his Minnesota career. This guy has brought a lot of stuff to Richard Pitino. Has changed dramatically their team.
Well, the fact, too, that he's able to play today, just 11 minutes against Michigan State because of foul trouble. He's on the floor right now. He's providing something for his team because he's not in as much foul trouble as he was a few days ago. Now, he's got 3.
Well, he had a hard time with Ward.
And the Gray are too fancy on that pass and a turnover. And now Edwards off the fake, and he was fouled by Coffey. And Amir Coffey will pick up the personal foul. That's his first and the 4th team foul. Team fouls even 4 apiece.
Not a bad foul, really. They had an opportunity on a semi-fast break, and because of the foul, they just get to inbound the ball. Mathias has been on the bench a long time. Has not shot well.
Swanigan 18 and 14, trying to add to it, left it short, and there's a whistle, came in late.
Oh, he got hit.
But a foul called nonetheless, and Lynch is going to be charged with his 4th with 6:03 to play.
It's decision time for Richard Pitino. Okay, do you leave Lynch in because he's playing so well, or do you take him out for like 2 minutes, bring in Konate, and that's what he's going to do, and then get Lynch back in the game after about 2 minutes.
Swanigan's first miss at the free throw line tonight. He was 4 of 4 before that. As Konate, you called it, Bob, he will come back in. Lynch, those 4 fouls. He will depart. Jordan Murphy also on the bench with 4 fouls.
Well, that's a problem right now because those are their 2 best interior players. So you got Konate in there and you got Curry in there right now. So one of those guys is going to have to guard Swanigan in the next couple of minutes. That's where Purdue needs to go.
Minnesota's made 9 of its last 10 from the field. Under 6 to play.
Number 2, Mason back in the game.
It's Coffey creating. No, the tip, no. Still tipped up, and it's Klein.
Wow, what action at the rim.
Swanigan trying to post up Konate. He's got it. Along the baseline. Shooting over Konate and a foul.
Well, he's going to get fouled every time against Konate or against Curry.
It's 4 now on Konate, so you see Lynch on the right, Murphy to his right.
Both of them with 4.
And Konate joins him.
That's the starting power forward and the starting center on this team. Matthias ready to come in.
So 2 here for Swanigan. Next Sunday is the much-anticipated season premiere of BTN's original, The Journey. Big Ten Basketball 2017 as we take a closer look at the premier basketball conference and the people who live it. Season premiere next Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern only on BTN. Swanigan steps up and knocks down 2 free throws, and it's a 1-possession game. Mason with 23 points.
He can go on his own. He has preferred going left and the pull-up jumper.
Opposite the screen, off the glass, it'll count.
How about that? That is an extremely difficult shot. And we talked about him going left. He needs to keep his mouth shut right here. He's going to get a T, a little jawing right here. He went hard to his left. P.J. Thompson cannot stay with him.
Thompson's 3rd foul. So Mason at the line shooting 1. You see his numbers here tonight.
We've got an interesting situation right here. On the one hand, you got Mason who can take over a game for Minnesota, and you got Swanigan who can take over a game for Purdue, battling it out in the statistical area.
Matthias feeds Swanigan, draws the double team. That leaves Klein open, and Purdue needed that, and Klein delivers. Klein's knocked out a couple. Mason, the kick. Curry made 1-3 earlier. No, Konate and Swanigan, and a whistle, and I think Konate's fouled out.
That is not the shot that you want if you're Minnesota. A freshman 6'9" guy taking a long 3. Konate will be out. It's okay. Lynch needs to come back in at this juncture anyway. But that was not the shot that Richard Pitino wanted. Nate Mason had just driven and scored. He's the guy who needs to be taking the clutch shots.
So Bakari Konate has fouled out. We'll see what Minnesota will do. It looks like
Lynch is in.
Will check in. He will.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's okay. Lynch went out with 6. He would come back in at 4 anyway. But the situation has changed dramatically because the 3-point lead is something that they're nursing right now. This is going to be great last couple of minutes.
It's the 7th team fouls. This is a 1-and-1 for Caleb Swanigan. Swanigan with 22. He's been clutch at the line, 8 of 9.
Mason's got 23.
And
Check
that one spins out, and
26.
Murphy lost it. Klein had a block. Edwards again. And we're tied.
They should force Mason to his right.
Along the baseline. Murphy with 7. Edwards falls down. In fact, a charge is called, and Murphy has fouled out. That's number 5. So Vincent Edwards took the hit the deck. He wants the crowd to come alive, and they are.
Clearly, Edwards does the right job on the back end. He takes it. Good call by the official. Great play by Vincent Edwards. And getting Murphy out of the game is so important. 21 rebounds against Michigan State, this young man, only a sophomore. And not having him in the end game is going to be very, very difficult for Richard Pitino and the Gophers.
So
Who
Murphy
now will guard the four-man? Curry is in. Curry, a freshman, is going to guard Vincent Edwards, an extremely experienced player.
Under 4 to play.
Lynch.
Klein for the lead.
You have got to be kidding me. On the move, fading left.
3 threes today. Coffey trying to answer and does. The freshman has responded here in the second half.
How about that? They're used to winning. 12 wins, only 2 losses for Minnesota. Same for Purdue.
Entry pass tipped. It was McBrayer forcing the turnover.
Klein would be wise to make a fake pass before he enters.
McBrayer beats Klein and scores. He wanted that one-on-one matchup up top.
He did. You are absolutely right. He stole the pass by Klein, then drove on him.
That's a strong hand, too. McBrayer, the left hand.
Matthias has the ability to heat from deep. They need to get the ball in the post.
Coffey's been on Matthias. This is Swanigan, had his 3 blocked by Lynch.
Number 46 on the season for Lynch. Which team will get quality shots in the last 2 minutes?
Both teams have timeouts, 2 on both sides. Mason against Thompson. Now back to McBrayer. McBrayer, no good. Lynch, the tap, no, and it's Swanigan.
Great effort by Lynch. Swanigan needs to get back in the post.
Edwards for the lead. Way off. And Coffey the rebound. 2 to play.
Two timeouts each.
Shot clock is under 10. Nothing yet for Mason here. Thompson's denying him, and now it's Mason with 4. Up top with 3. Difficult 3 rattled out. Mason got that ball late. Thompson across the half-court line, and Matt Painter will take time, leaving the Boilermakers with 1.
Dupree McBrayer has made 2 good plays. This was one of them. 2 points.
Game 3 of our binge on BTN. It's been great. 1:27 to play. Minnesota by 2. Purdue with the ball. Caleb Swanigan, Bob, another great game.
Well, they have to go to Swanigan here. He has not touched the ball in a good way the last 4 possessions. He took a 3 that was blocked. They tried to enter him in the post, and the ball got slapped away. They need to get the ball to him on the left block and let him operate.
Swanigan, 22 points, 16 rebounds, his 12th double-double. Edwards against Curry. Edwards had it blocked by Lynch. With 14 to shoot, it'll stay with Purdue.
That's block number 5 for Lynch. 47 on the season. Watch his left hand. If he tries to block this with his right hand, his body makes contact with Edwards, and it's a foul. He's not only athletic, but an educated shot blocker.
Lynch playing with 4 fouls. Bakari Konate and Jordan Murphy have both fouled out for Minnesota. Here's Swanigan.
That's the play.
Spun out. Curry lost the rebound. Edwards had it stripped. It's going to be Purdue ball. 1:05 to play.
They got the right shot, Corey. It's spun out. Take a look. What action right here. Ball rolls around. This looks like it's in. More than 360 and just falls out.
A great look.
Well, Edwards did a good job of not touching the ball when it was on the rim. I don't know what the officials are looking at, whether it's a timing situation or not, or who hit the ball out of bounds.
What about possession here? We're under 2 minutes to play in regulation. What about possession here?
Yeah, that's clearly off Lynch.
Under 2 to play in regulation or in overtime. If 2 players or more are involved, you can look at possession by instant replay.
Well, it's under 2 minutes. So right here, nobody touches the ball. Right here, Edwards is after it. Gets bounced off 2 guys. I thought it was off Lynch, but
this may be the best angle here.
See, it
Lynch's
hits
shoulder. Yeah, I think Lynch's shoulder.
Yeah.
So Purdue, and the call will stay with Purdue. The foul trouble, you see Kanate. The towel draped around his shoulders. He's out. To his right, Murphy. He's out. Lynch with the block a moment ago, but playing with 4.
Going after Lynch with Swanigan would be a wise choice.
Purdue 1 timeout remaining.
1 minute, 10 minutes to play.
Edwards against the freshman Curry. Under a minute to go. Now it's Lynch with Edwards. Thompson the lob. Here's Swanigan, the turnaround for the tie. It's short. Curry the rebound. You like that shot?
Yeah, I do like the shot. He's got to be the guy to take it. They defended him well. It's a shot he can make. He's just not getting it close to the basket.
Nate Mason, a career-high day. With the ball, 7 to shoot. Now Coffey with 3. Minnesota with 2. There's contact and shot clock violation. Purdue will have the ball. 12.7 seconds to play. Richard Pitino had timeouts to use but did not call one.
Well, as soon as he saw Coffey going and he was wild, it was too late in the shot clock. If he was going to call a timeout, he could have called it earlier. Coffey made a 3 earlier after Klein's 3. Too late in the shot clock to make a timeout by the coach, and the coach can't call a live ball timeout. So he's got to signal to the player, and the player's got to call it. Not a good play by the freshman.
The last time Minnesota won at Mackey Arena back in February of 2005, Matt Painter's team at home has been tough to beat. They did lose here early to Villanova, but they've won 31 of the last 33 at home. You see the game reset. And Caleb Swanigan, another double-double today, Bob.
He can run the floor with the best power forwards in the country. He's very, very strong. So in traffic, he can rip the ball away from people and get it up to the rim. And positioning-wise, he's educated in the geography of the lane. So he's going to get offensive boards. In traffic, he's a demon. But Lynch has done a good job on him in the last couple of minutes. Swanigan took a shot on the last play, a turnaround jumper. It wasn't a power move, but it was a shot he could make.
You saw in our game reset, Purdue does have 1 timeout remaining. The officials were looking at the clock. They've added 0.8 of a second. So instead of 12-7, 13-5. 2-point game. Purdue down 2. Feed Swanigan against Lynch with 7. Swanigan off the glass, and we're tied. 4.6 to play. Minnesota has 2 timeouts. Mason lets it fly. But first, we have a stoppage in play. So Swanigan ties it with just over 4 seconds to play. 73-73.
Well, they went to the right place, and they went to the right guy. That was the first time Swanigan in the last 5 possessions got the ball in the lane. He slides through, fades away, makes the basket. It goes through. Take a look. Lynch has done a pretty good job, forced him into a tough shot. They are just looking at the clock. The clock stops. Right here you can see Swanigan's play. Ball goes through the net. Game clock on your left.
So 4.9 to play. Purdue did call a timeout. So before the Gophers inbounded the ball, Purdue called the timeout. The Boilermakers have none remaining. Now Minnesota's going to call a timeout. Minnesota has 1 remaining. So the Gophers call a timeout. Now, Richard Pitino's team was here just a few days ago. Nate Mason, who's had a great game today, but that last sequence against Michigan State in overtime, it developed late. It was not a great shot at the buzzer. What's the play call here right now for Richard Pitino in a tie game?
Well, you got 4.9 seconds, so the best thing, obvious, is to get Mason the basketball on the run, facing his basket, okay? A long pass has the opportunity to be intercepted, so you really don't want that. This guy is your best player. Let him get the ball and penetrate and make a play. Right here, he's been great all game long. Off the dribble going to the left has been his best play. Always going left. Here he gets fouled on this one and makes a three-point play. The guy has been absolutely spectacular, and he's the man who needs the ball in his hands. I don't think you can afford a second pass.
You see a career-high 26. Now, Purdue has some fouls to give. Minnesota just has been fouled 5 times. Here's Mason, the bounce. McBrayer got it off just for the win. Overtime coming up here on BTN. McBrayer had a good look. And for the second time here in our binge on BTN, we go to OT.
Oh, you gotta love it. I'm telling you. They got a pretty clean shot in 4.9 seconds. You were right. They could have fouled. But now you don't want to foul in a situation like this with the game tied, obviously. Right here, they got a pretty clean look. Matthias came out on him and challenged it. They double-teamed Mason to make him give it up, which I think is a wise choice. Had Mason been able to go the length of the floor and taken a shot, would have been a higher percentage for a win. And they were trying to go to him several times. This is an off-balance shot that's defended well by Lynch. He uses the backboard to soften the shot. He made a terrific play. And right here, they double Mason, so he has to give the ball up. And McBrayer gets the shot. No. Well done by both teams.
So overtime here in West Lafayette as we begin 2017 with a dramatic finish. The 5 for Purdue: Thompson, Vincent Edwards, Dakota Matthias, Caleb Swanigan, Ryan Klein. Minnesota with Nate Mason, Dupree McBrayer, Reggie Lynch, Eric Curry, and Amir Coffey.
Here's the problem for Minnesota. Lynch, who wins the tap, has 4 fouls. Can he play 5 minutes guarding Swanigan, one of the best players in America, without fouling? Murphy is on the bench already, having fouled out.
Here's Mason. It's Curry against Edwards. Got him up. The finger roll goes.
How about that for a freshman in a tough situation?
Curry now with 5. Thank you for joining us here on our binge on BTN, brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Corey Probus, Bob Wenzel. Producer Michael Rosenblum, director Andrew Greathouse, and our great crew. Matthias, no. Swanigan, yes!
Oh, man! Where did he come from?
26 points. As McBrayer and Matthias get tangled up, and they're going to whistle Matthias for the foul. That is the 6th team foul. So Minnesota still not yet in the bonus.
How about Curry? The ball fake gets Edwards off the ground, and it's an easy lay-in for a 6'9" player. On the other side, check out Swanigan going to the offensive glass. What great play, both ends.
Mason, Curry for 3. It's short, and Swanigan with his 18th rebound to go with 26 points.
I think Purdue would be wise, Thompson especially, to push Nate Mason to Nate's right hand. He's been much more effective going left in this game.
And a whistle away from the ball. And I think they get 3 seconds.
I don't know if that was 3 seconds or a moving screen.
No foul.
Okay, 3 seconds.
3-second violation. Goal for Purdue today to keep Minnesota off the free throw line. They have. The Gophers only 10 attempts.
See that? Mason going to his right, less effective.
McBrayer, no. Lynch couldn't hang on to it. Swanigan ripped it away.
How about the battle between Swanigan and Lynch on the glass? Man, these two guys are going after it.
Lynch, 6'10", 260. Swanigan, 6'9", 250. Here is Swanigan. Lynch, good defense.
Absolutely good defense. Without a foul also.
Here's Curry, the step, and he got it to go off the glass. Matt Painter wanted a travel. Curry got the bucket, and a timeout call by Minnesota with the Gophers leading by 2 and 2:42 to play at OT.
Matt Painter thinks there was a travel. Let's take a look. It was not a travel. 6'9", 235, freshman, Memphis, Tennessee. Moving it. Oh, yes, it was a travel. I stand corrected. Oh, yes, it wasn't a travel because the official didn't call it that way.
And there is Rick Pitino. Louisville Cardinals played not too far from here yesterday, defeated Indiana in Indianapolis.
Yep, they beat Purdue also.
Yep. Eric Curry, 7 points, and all since halftime. In fact, first half, Minnesota did not have a single point from a non-starter. All 38 of their first half points came from their starting 5.
And they still have their 3 perimeter players. McBrayer, Mason, and Coffey all intact.
Ryan Klein up top for 3. Swanigan's tap, no. Tapped out again, it's Coffey. Ryan Klein's had a hot hand here today. A guy that was fighting it the prior 4 games, but not today. Mason around Swanigan. Off the glass. And Mason adding to his career best day.
P.J. Thompson's playing a lot of minutes. He looks a little tired to me, and he's got a tough assignment trying to guard Mason.
Matthias, his entry pass is defended and deflected by McBrayer.
McBrayer did that to Matthias, and he did it to Klein, both in this game.
I haven't said Dakota Matthias' name a lot today, coming off a brilliant game against Iowa. McBrayer, the tough fade away. Matt Painter's team is down by 6.
Matt needs a timeout, clearly.
And that is exactly what Purdue will do. They call their last timeout with 1:34 to play in OT. Minnesota with momentum and a 6-point lead.
How about the Gophers receiving votes in the AP Top 25 after only winning 8 games last year? Nate Mason on the move. Going to his right for the first time. Terrific, terrific play by Mason. And how about McBrayer, the lefty? Matthias almost got a piece, but it goes down anyway.
Bree McBrayer and the Gophers leading by 6. P.J. Thompson. That's some big threes early in the second half. Illinois, Ohio State still to come tonight. And the big show will follow up our coverage later on tonight. We've had great games all day. More the same with this one. It's Klein for 3 over McBrayer, too strong. Edwards the rebound. Over Lynch, no. Swanigan, no. And there's Curry who falls down and shovels it to Mason.
What? I am telling you, it is so magnificent, the effort that we're seeing on the glass by Minnesota and Purdue.
Minnesota's post has a whole different look with Murphy on the bench and 5 fouls. Kanate is fouled out. Curry trying to add on, and he does. Look at the Golden Gopher bench. The freshman Curry all smiles. The lead is 9. Under a minute to go. It's Swanigan. Had it stripped, and it's going to be Minnesota ball. Swanigan in disbelief as Purdue is going to go back to its bench. And Smotherman is back on the floor.
Well,
Purdue has one foul to give, Bob.
They're going full court press right here.
Beg your pardon, Minnesota in the bonus, 16 fouls. And they may be looking at possession again here.
Well, the officials taking a look at this play right here. We stand corrected on the play a couple of minutes ago. Matthias stepped out of bounds and walked out of bounds with the ball. There was no 3-second violation on that particular play. And we thank Rick Boyages from the Big Ten. Let us know that play.
Let's go back and look. Right now, the call is Minnesota ball with 45 seconds to go. And it's going to stay with Minnesota. Now, Eric Curry in the overtime, Bob, he has really elevated his game.
He comes into the game. He makes this first play, which is very nice. 6'9", 230 from Memphis. Freshman. Drives to the basket on this one. Uses the glass to soften the shot. And then he makes a three at a critical juncture. He came into this game, Corey, shooting 1 of 7 threes on the entire season. And he makes that one at Purdue against the number 15 team in the nation.
And play halted at half court. Clock will stop 39.4 as the officials will look at the time again. Just to finish up your thought on Eric Curry. His 10 points today, 7 have come in overtime.
Yeah, and you know, he's not a guy who is, he's part of the rotation, let's put it that way. But at the 5 and the 4 spot, they want Lynch and they want Murphy. Take a look at this play right here. Looks like a shot clock situation that didn't start on time. It was at 30 and it should be at 24.
So 39.4 to play. Minnesota with the ball, leading by 9. Corey Probus and Bob Wenzel back with you. And this game, Minnesota came out, hit its first 8, but then Purdue, while they were down 3 at halftime, a burst early second half, had the lead. But any time it seemed like Purdue had momentum, Mason and the Gophers had an answer.
Well, Mason, really. Yeah, and I mean, he went left and made every single play. We had 2 stars in this game, Mason on the one side and Caleb Swanigan on the other side. But the other guys are the ones that have stepped up and made big plays. Dupree McBrayer, when the ball was being inbound, trying to get into the post from Klein and Matthias, 2 times he tipped the ball away and got the ball for Minnesota. And then Curry, of course, has been fantastic in the overtime period. Swanigan has done his normal job work, but Curry is a guy who has stepped up big time as a 4-man.
Adjustment of the shot clock, 24. 39.4 to play as Purdue shows pressure. Coffey gets it to Mason, and he is fouled. That's the 7th team foul, so a 1-and-1 upcoming here for Nate Mason.
Think about the Big Ten. Nebraska comes in and beats Indiana at Indiana. And now we got a situation where it looks like Minnesota is going to beat Purdue at Purdue. So 2 ranked teams lose at home against 2 teams that were thought to be near the bottom part of the league. So what does that tell you? There's balance in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, parity.
The bottom teams are much better than they were last year, okay? The top teams are still pretty darn good. So it makes for a much, much more interesting race this year. 18 games you play 5 teams twice, you play the other 8 teams, 4 home, 4 away, 18 game schedule. This is only the start, and we've got all this drama already unfolding. Amazing.
Mason with 29. Shooting 1 more. A 30-point performance from the junior Nate Mason. Thompson playing with 4 fouls. The layup is good. And a foul.
Yeah, Lynch fouled him. So that's 5 on Lynch.
So Lynch has fouled out as he went for the block.
Well, he got his fingers on the basketball, but he's got his body on the lower part of Thompson. He played a fabulous game.
He was in foul trouble. Again today, was limited towards the end of the first half.
He blocked shots all over the place. I think he had 6 or 7 blocked shots in this game. He guarded one of the nation's best player, and Swanigan really did have a good game, but at crunch time, he did a good job against him.
Checking in for the Boilermakers, 5 passes, Smotherman.
See Lynch, transfer from Illinois State, sat out last year. Hakeem Springs takes his spot. Inbounds pass, and Thompson got his hands on it, but was out of bounds.
Now it's a harder place to inbound from. That corner right there, the sideline and the end line are your friends if you're Purdue here.
Swanigan active right in Springs' face, and Minnesota will call its last timeout.
Yeah, that's a tough place to inbound the ball from. And Springs, of course, is a 5th-year player, but inexperienced in the big time.
Now look at the upcoming schedule for Minnesota at Northwestern, then home against Ohio State. Will be at the barn for that one. Next Sunday at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Second time in 5 games. Minnesota will see the Spartans.
I don't know how you feel about this, but I think they learned something from the Michigan State overtime game. They were terribly disappointed. They felt that they could win against Michigan State. They had a big lead. Michigan State came back. They put Minnesota on the line 45 times. They did not make enough free throws to make that a win for them. And then they come here, and it looks like they're going to get a win here. Maybe not, but it looks like they're going to get a win here. So did they learn a lot from the Michigan State game? I would say that they did. Tough position now to inbound the ball from. No timeouts left. The sideline and the end line are your friends if you're Purdue. It's hard to inbound the ball. Minnesota has to think about long pass here. Purdue has to think about steal. First 5-second count, second steal, third foul, without the clock moving more than 4 or 5 seconds. Big man defending the inbound play would be good. It looks like Swanigan will be on the inbounder.
And you see Swanigan, 26 points, 20 rebounds. Ho-hum.
Wow.
Another monster game. Still, his team is down late. Not over yet. Up the floor. Springs got loose. Smotherman back. Springs is fouled by Smotherman.
Well, I like what Richard Pitino did there. The long pass is available in a situation like that because Purdue is overplaying everyone. The good news is that Coffey made a very, very good pass on that play.
Golden Gophers as a team, 8 of 12 at the line. This is a 1-and-1 for Hakeem Springs. Rattled out.
Still opportunity.
And Matthias back in. 3-point specialist, and said Edwards misses inside. The tap is loose. It's Springs. And now Mason with 21.2, but a whistle and a foul will halt play.
Well, they
P.J.
fouled
Thompson.
Springs again, so he'll be back on the line.
Thompson is fouled out, his 5th. P.J. Thompson, some big threes early in the second half as Purdue rallied down 3 at halftime, took the lead. But he is done for the night. Springs at the line, still a 1-and-1. Springs the second. 21 seconds to go in overtime. As Carson Edwards. No, the tap is there for Swanigan.
No give up at Swanigan. Got a foul.
And that's what Matthias does. Fouls Dupree McBrayer. That'll put Minnesota into the double bonus the rest of the overtime period.
Last 30 seconds, of course, in college basketball, you've got a foul. There's nothing really you can do. Lynch, all smiles. He played a great game. Murphy, all smiles. They did a lot of fouling in the post and took out some of the inside game of Purdue. A very well played game by Minnesota. Purdue as well. Minnesota is going to be a force in the league.
Young team grew up today. Final 10 seconds. Carson Edwards lays it up and in. Timeouts remaining. As Mason is fouled by Albrecht with 7.5.
Purdue foul 55. Spike Albrecht, his first.
Well, we focused on some of the better conference players earlier tonight. We knew Swanigan was there, but Nate Mason, Bob, it's early in league play. You can't deny this performance here.
No doubt about it. I mean, on a foreign court at a place where Purdue rarely ever loses, Nate Mason showed that he is ready to be considered an all-league player. Not only the 30 points, but the 11 assists. Can you say Russell Westbrook? How about that?
Nate Mason. A phenomenal game. 91-82. The final 5. Edwards 3. No. Curry. Swanigan there for the rebound. It's Curry, and it's over. Minnesota, after a crushing Big Ten lost open league play on the road, knocks off number 15 Purdue in overtime. 91-82. Nate Mason, a career-high 31. Caleb Swanigan, 28 points and 22 rebounds. Still, Matt Painter's team rarely loses here at home, but that happened today as Jordan Murphy and the Gophers pull off the upset over number 15 Purdue here today in West Lafayette, 91-82. What a day we've had on BTN. Nebraska went on the road, won at Maryland. Iowa beat Michigan at home in overtime. And today, Minnesota goes on the road and knocks off the Boilermakers by 9. Minnesota's first win at Mackey since February 26, 2005. They had lost their last 8. That's a happy team heading back to the Twin Cities later on tonight. Minnesota now 13-2. Happy dad right there. Rick Pitino got to be here to watch his son. And the Gophers pull off the upset. Purdue falls to